Hey Booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I'm going to explain all this in a moment here, but before we begin, a fake crate. If you're new to my channel, you may not have seen one of these videos. I only make them occasionally, but a fake crate is my way of being very, very silly. When I first started watching Booktube, and this is still true, I think, to some extent, there were a lot of people who would open maybe a box from a company on their channel, and it would contain a book and maybe some merchandise. So like a summer book might have like a beach towel and a candle in it, or something like that. And I wanted to do something that I would love to send all of you, like snow in the winter, things like that, that is impossible to send. So this one, though, really does kind of stretch the parameters of the imagination. So my professional life is about to really crank up in the next 2 weeks, and it will continue through the end of July. And I'm a little anxious about it, and I started thinking about where would I rather be? And in truth, I would rather be at what I'm calling Camp Booktube, and I would get to hang out with my favorite booktubers, and I've been picturing what it would look like in my head to invite all of you to Camp Booktube. Now, this is only my imagining of Camp Booktube. If you have a different one, you can share it with me in the comments section, or you can make your own video about what your Camp Booktube looks like, what kind of things to do there, aside from, of course, reading books, talking to other people from the Booktube community about books, and of course it would have a very sufficient Wi-Fi and computer system so that we could upload videos from Camp Booktube. But it also, I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about the things I remember from summer camp. Now, I got online and looked at some summer camps, and wow, it was really different, like robotics and so my camp experiences were quite different. If it was a really big summer camp, we might stay in dorms, but a lot of times it was little cabins with bunk beds in them, and we would bring our sleeping bags and have water fights and sing songs by the fire, that sort of thing. But Camp Booktube, we're definitely not having water fights because I don't want anyone's books to get damaged. But Camp Booktube would be able to accommodate anyone with a disability or an illness. Maybe there would be like a little creek or like a little fishing hole. Not that we would have to fish, like we don't have to fish, like we could maybe swim. A little watering hole nearby, that sort of thing. I'm picturing like some people are gonna be glamping, and so they're gonna have like fancy tents, and they're gonna be in a tent outside, and then other people are going to be in those little cabins, and then maybe there's like a big giant like, I don't know, like ranch style house, where some people can have their own room, and of course we have a big place to share our meals. In addition to those kind of accommodations, I would also be able to send first class tickets to all of the international booktubers that I know and love, so that you could come to Camp Booktube, because of course Camp Booktube has got to be in a big, I don't know, like a forested area in an open space of some kind. Maybe there's got to be wildlife. We have to watch the wildlife, right? But I realize, like, for some of you, you would rather have Camp Booktube like maybe in an urban environment, or maybe it's just a day camp and we all go home to our own beds every night. I get that. I get that. So anyway, I would love to hear, like, again, what would Camp Booktube look like for you? But I also want to say, like, I have made a couple prompts, or challenges, if you will, that you can do if you want to. And you don't have to post anything. You don't have to share, like, you could just tell me in the comment section, or you could, yeah, like, again, you could make your own Camp Booktube video. Like, what does it look like? Please tag me on that video so that I get to see it if you do decide to make one. Okay, so the first prompt is, what are you bringing to Camp Booktube? And one of the required things is that everybody has to bring their own coffee cup. Now, or it's not just for coffee, it's obviously for tea. Now, in my Camp Booktube, there is always coffee on, and always either pots of tea or hot water to make tea, or maybe make cocoa. But this would be the mug I would bring. It's got a couple lobsters on it. It's from Maine. One of my friends gave this to me, a non-Booktube friend, and it's chipped a little bit. So I've had it for a very long time, and yeah, I think I would bring this, even though it's not book related, I would bring this mug with me to Camp Booktube because it's big. Another thing I would bring would of course be books. I'm not going to talk about what books because those are separate videos, but I've got this book bag, and I also have this book bag, and so in addition to filling those with books that I want to read, I might also bring books to my Camp Booktube that I could share with other people. I think that would be so much fun, right? Like, you finish a book and you could just put it on a table somewhere, and if somebody else wanted to read it, they could. And of course, all of the summer Booktube events, you could still come to Camp Booktube and participate in them. It's not like it's defined to one event. So you could participate in June on the Range, the Summer of Sport. Oh, there's the Big Books one. Sue, I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called. You could participate in, there's a Star Trek one. Of course, in July, we'll have Jane Austen July. And so, yeah, so you could participate in any event at Camp Booktube. We're not going to discriminate against what people are reading at Camp Booktube. All right, the next challenge or prompt would be to eat a snack that reminds you of summer camp. So for me, that's definitely s'mores. There's a lot of s'mores related products out there. Making s'mores by a campfire is much better than the indoor version, but anyway, so for this summer I have marshmallows, I have my chocolate, and I have graham crackers, and I promise you I'm only just going to take a bite of this because it gets very messy. I hope you all will forgive me for that. And of course I have to be filming on a super windy day here, but that would happen at Camp Booktube, the weather. Sometimes we'd have to read inside. But if you only do one of these kind of prompts or challenges this summer, I would encourage you to spend some time in someplace green. That could be a public park. That could be, I don't know, maybe you're traveling and I don't know, there's just an open space. Oh my god, I can't believe this wind. Anyway, so I came out here to listen to the birds and the squirrels, and of course I grabbed a book, but I will get to the weeds in my yard eventually, but right now making this video is more important because the weeds will always win. but yeah, I would encourage you to find someplace near you, and again, it might just be a public park. Take your book, find a bench, bring a camp chair if you have one, or maybe pack a cooler, have a picnic, and just spend some time reading outside. So finally, last but not least, I made an indoor tent. There are a few times when I make something, when I do something on BookTube, that my husband is like, really? You're going to do that? But anyway, so we had this whole conversation about how I should make it, you know. Those of you with children, it'd probably be a lot easier. I'm gonna get into the tent right now. So here I am in my little tent. Oh, I don't know, my feet are sticking out over the edge. I don't know if can you see my feet behind me? Anyway, so make an indoor tent that you spend a little bit of time reading in. And I also would recommend finding a way sometime this summer for Camp Booktube to read by flashlight, or I don't know why, but when we moved into our house, my parents got me all of these lanterns. Check that out. So maybe read by lantern, and if it wasn't so light right now, I would do it. But all right, so again, tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. What does your Camp Booktube look like? Where is it set? What kind of activities do you do? Maybe you have arts and crafts, which is a great idea. And that's certainly something. You can find some fun books at your local library. Maybe you go make pottery. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you have one of my like grown-up coloring books, and you spend some time in that. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed my very, very silly Camp Booktube fake crate. So again, it requires a lot more imagination on your part, but I think it would be fun to hear about your camp experiences, and I wish I could fulfill this fake crate and get all of us together to do something in the outdoors and to enjoy reading outdoors. As always, if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment in the comment section, you can leave a camp emoji, or you can give this video a thumbs up as a way to say hello. It really does help my channel, so I appreciate that. BookTube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.